call yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oshman. And going forward, I would like to introduce now our very best, the Vice President of our Young Entrepreneurial Relation, Mr. Nonde Fredrick Jr. No, Mr. Fredrick Jr. Nonde. So, welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, moderator. I really appreciate being part of this conversation. We've been looking forward to engaging in a more fruitful manner, and you guys have been working behind the scenes, so we appreciate the work you put in. Then, thank you.
I gotta say he has been doing a good job on matters Kenyan chapter of Young Entrepreneur Federation, and also coming up with such an idea. It's an amazing thing. That's just regards to Mr. Nonde. So I would like to, on a national level, Kenyan national level, I would like to introduce Madam Zena and Njeri for now. I would like to introduce Madam Zena and Njeri. Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Neville. Good evening, everyone. My name is Zena Njeri, and I am the National Coordinator for AfYEF Kenya Chapter. I'm passionate about empowering youth and women through entrepreneurship, innovation, and intra-African trade under AfCFTA. It's an honor to be part of this inaugural webinar, and I look forward to the impactful decisions ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. That was smart enough. And I would like to also to give regards to her that she has been a woman behind this thing. And being a woman in Africa is an applause, because you take much decisions and hard decisions so that you can be in such position. So in that line, I would like to introduce her deputy, Mr. Eden Nasiali.
Good evening again, and once again, welcome to this webinar, the inaugural AfYEF Kenya event. So today we are starting a new program called AfYEF Kenya. It is a program that will enable youths and entrepreneurs in Kenya to access
I'm introducing on behalf of Continental Young Entrepreneur Federation and MIBT. I would like to introduce Madam Nancy Mulenga. If she's able, she can introduce herself, and in that order, we'll be done with that. So every member just send a hello on the chat board. If I forgot to introduce you, sir or madam, please feel free. Know that I have already welcomed you, and will be recognized if time allows. So, Madam Nancy, you'll be the last one to introduce yourself. Thank you. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Neville. Thank you, and also thank you so much for your warm welcome. I really appreciate. Nancy Mulenga is my name. I am the Finance and Administration Lead at MIBT Global. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, and welcome to this inaugural session. And those that I have forgotten to mention, or I have not been able to mention, I would like to pass my apologies, but you'll be recognized in when time allows. So I would like to jump directly into the session, and on my list, I have some things for our federation when it comes to Kenya. So we're talking about how does Kenya chapter operationalize young entrepreneur federations connected under AfCFTA into a tangible opportunity for young entrepreneurs. So that's the question that we are having in Kenya, and I'm very sure that we are going to be answered right here with specialists and those like innovators that are on board, and also people that are aspiring to be part of this great team, the market-free trade that we are having, the ambition and everything. So I would like to start the panel right away. Now that we are, the Mr. President is in absentia, I would like to pass also to the assistant. I would like him to take notes for what will be missing or for what is for present, and to keep him updated. So without much ado, I would like to proceed. We are going to have a 2-minute session for each panelist, of which on panel I have Madam Zena, I have Eden, and then Mr. Eden Naziala, and then I have the Madam Muita, and then I have Madam Jolene, and then we have the other session for cross-panel strategy question, and that is it cuts across whoever is in the call. I would like him to come up with the answer wherever I answer the question, so that we can have a good interaction when it comes. I don't want to have a one-way conversation, and that's a plus for us, because we're gonna have a very interactive session. So then we have the other part that will be presidential segment, and that is the questions that will be sent out for president, and maybe he can be on a call, or maybe he will not be able to answer that question, or the assistant can do that for him, or maybe the co-founder can do that for him. So we can just align that with that order. Then we have a closing and call to action. What we will do after discussing, what are we putting in order, so that we can have a clear view of what we are planning on executing. So without talking much on that, I would like to usher in Madam Zena. And on my list, I have some questions for you, Madam Zena. Okay, so the thing is that we are going to observe time, and don't like answer correctly, and like just keep time. That's what I'm trying to imply. So, Madam Zena, are you ready for the quick questions?
Yes, Neville, I am ready.
Okay. Okay, let's go. So the first question that I have for you is that how will Africa Young Entrepreneur Federation in Kenya convert Africa Continental Free Trade Area provision into an actionable pipeline that deals with a partnership and market entry for members?
First, on converting AfCFTA into actionable pipeline. So we are building structured pathways through deal rooms, startup market matching, and sector-focused programs. So our members can access partnerships, customers, and cross-border opportunities in a practical way. Sorry, sure. So I'm just going to go ahead and answer the questions again because of the noise. So we are building structured pathways through deal rooms, startup market matching, and sector-focused programs. So our members can access partnerships, customers, and cross-border opportunities in a practical way.
Okay. That's amazing, and this is much is brilliant to have such a view in the opinion on that. So the other question that is sent out for you is that what formal partnership are being pursued with government agencies through agencies and trade bodies and financial institutions to unlock market access? Hello?
Yes,
Okay.
Neville.
Can I come again?
No, I got your question right.
Okay, sure.
So we are actively pursuing collaborations with government agencies, trade bodies, and financial institutions to unlock market access, financing, and regulatory support. This ensures our members are not navigating
basically be secure for everyone to use. Thank you.
Okay, that was an amazing feedback, Madam Mumbi, and I would like to appreciate you for that. So the next question, are you putting in place for data protection?
Okay, when we're talking about standards and protocols, we need, how do I say it? We need our trade, our interactions, and yes, basically our interactions and trade across the AfCFTA to have data protection and system reliability, because it is very critical, again, for building trust across borders. Because as I've said, I think when we're talking about countries and trade in Africa, we need trust to move on. Like, if there's no trust, then the exchange won't happen like smoothly. So basically what I'd do, the standards and protocols I will basically implement a security by design approach, which is basically to ensure that all systems handling the trade across like borders are secure and compliant and resilient. So in terms of data protection, you basically have encryption again. There's something in cybersecurity we call IAM, sorry, it's identity and access management. So it's used to authenticate. Authentication is basically verification. So we how do you say it? We verify that you're who you say you are. So those are among the things we use for data protection. This also includes like data security for the data across like borders, like for different countries, to ensure that there's data integrity and confidentiality across the borders for different countries. And then for system reliability, it's to basically ensure that if users, like multiple users, want to use the system, it is there, it is available, it is not redundant, because that will cause like failures and interruptions of services. And also we will have something we call disaster recovery. So it's where the data, the trade data will be protected and to ensure the business continuity. This approach ensures that for cross-border trade and trust among African countries. Thank you.
Okay. That's an amazing thing, Madam Mumbi, and I would like to have a session for all the three of you, the cross panel session, so we can have just an interactive question. Either one of you can answer them. It involves you and the other people that are on call. Also, you can jump in if you are able to answer that. And I would like to hear the feedback from everyone else. So feel free to have a conversation. I started by saying this conversation is not a one-way thing. It's a two-way traffic. Just interact and share the ideas about what you are going to contribute on Young Entrepreneur Federation and also Federation Continental Free Trade Area as large. So, well, can I go forward? And I will go forward and ask the first question. The first cross panel question, and there will be two questions. There will be three questions, or probably, and I'll expect what any one of you in the call can answer that. So, the first question is, how do we move from dialogue to measurable economic outcome within the next 12 months when it comes to Young Entrepreneur Federation?
I didn't get you clearly, Neville. Can you just repeat the question?
Okay. Can everyone hear me? If you are hearing me, please thumbs up. So just like so that I can see that I'm being heard. So the thing here, the question was, how can we, like, as the board involved in this initiative, how do we move from dialogue to measurable economic outcomes within the next month? Because the main goal of us is to impact Africa on economic level or economic layer. So how do we do that from dialogue to measurable economic outcomes or KPIs?
Okay, so for that to happen, first we'll have to make sure that AfYEF Kenya is actually registered. That is the next step after this meeting. Then we will be having our Kenya book launch this June. The full calendar will be shared with all of you guys. And so to make sure that it's not something that remains as a dialogue, we have to ensure that whatever work we have to put in has to be intentional. The training programs that we'll offer, the webinars, the programs that we'll offer, the opportunities that we'll offer through the work, in my own perspective, I believe that all member states of the AfCFTA have to commit to actually bringing AfCFTA live. It should not be something that is only talked about. It should be an entrepreneur from Kenya should be able to sell his or her items in a country like Zambia or Ghana and vice versa. So cross-border collaborations will be one way to measure our impact over the next coming years.
Okay, that's an applause for you, Mr. Eden, and you clearly answer that. In addition, I just want to add on that. Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, can you like just go forward because I saw your hand.
Thank you very much. Can you all hear me? Okay, maybe I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Comfort Chinengundu, the National Coordinator for AfYEF Zimbabwe Chapter. Yeah, and I would like to do. We are in a similar position as the Zim chapter. We are just starting the chapter, and we now need to move from talking to action, and this can be done by deliberately designing systems which convert these conversations into structured action. For instance, we need to move away from statements like we should collaborate more, maybe into statements like we will increase intra-network trade by 15% in 12 months. That way, we can then have trackable action, and we have tracked execution to get accountable results. And statements like that, for instance, if we say we will fund 10 SMEs in agriculture within 6 months, that way we can then start working towards a visible goal other than continuous good structure and setup in terms of objectives, but now it is our homework to convert and to implement those objectives. That's my small contribution. Thank you.
An applause for Mr. Comfort, because that was a very amazing contribution, and I'm very happy to hear that. Mr. Comfort feel welcomed, and I feel like I'm gonna add on that. I gonna add something like we should have a measurable goal to achieve what we want. We were talking about. Talking about something isn't about like just writing down your to-do list without completing it. We're gonna have a to-do list for our organization. Every chapter should have that, so that in an estimated time frame, we're gonna implement and also execute what we have on our to-do list. And in Kenya, we are having something that is a priority, registering our organization in civil societies in Kenya, and that's the first thing that we should take the next as the next step from here. So implementing is important over over talking. So from idea into system. Madam Zena, you can contribute.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Neville, for this opportunity. So now, concepts in Kenya. We are hearing about AfYEF for the first time. So I just want to fill us in on all the members here about what AfYEF actually is, considering it's a new organization. So AfYEF stands for African Youth Entrepreneurship Forum. It's a platform focused on empowering young people and women through entrepreneurship and trade across Africa. It is built around the opportunities created by AfCFTA, that is the African Continental Free Trade Area. It is essentially an agreement that allows African countries to trade more easily with each other by reducing barriers like tariffs and restrictions. Now, what does that mean in a practical sense? It means that a young entrepreneur, you are no longer limited to just your local market. You can have access to the entire African market. And that's where AfYEF comes in. We are here to help you move from idea to income and from operating locally to trading across borders. Through AfYEF Kenya, we are creating direct pathways for our members, whether it's to access new markets across Africa, connecting you to trusted business partners, linking you to funding opportunities, or equipping you with knowledge needed to actually trade beyond Kenya. We are also focused on building structured pipelines, so it's not just talk, but real deals, real partnerships, and real market entry opportunities. At the end of the day, AfYEF exists to make sure that AfCFTA, which is the African Trade African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, is not just a policy, but something you can actually use to grow your business and compete across the continent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Eric. Can you please mute yourself? Eric Omariba, please. Can you mute yourself, please? Okay. Okay, Mr. Joseph. Welcome to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Ngoma. I'm the Finance Director for Voices of Kibera. We are a social enterprise that's helping poverty reduction in Kibera. So I wanted to know if your organization helps such organization like us that deal with social.
Okay, Mr. Joseph, right there. Okay, I would like to let in Mr. Fredrick Nonde to just have his view on what we are talking about, on how we can move African young entrepreneur generation from idea into a system. And I would like him to give us his view on that. I will be very happy to hear that, sir. So welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Neville. Thank you for moderating this session. And we appreciate all the colleagues that have contributed already. I think I should have given my introductory remarks. I think when you introduced me, I was saying hi, and then I didn't have a chance to speak to the colleagues who are on the call, so that I make everyone's life easy. I try to give a background of what AfYEF is, okay, and then the work that we do, okay. So nevertheless, it's never too late, yeah. So I want to say that Prince Siita is is having some, I think, engagement right now. He might be able to join, but I notice we have very few minutes remaining, okay, before the end of the call. But again, allow me to take advantage this opportunity to appreciate our national coordinator, Zena, for Kenya, and also the other national coordinators I've seen on the call. Also Ambassador Comfort from Zimbabwe, we appreciate you being part of this conversation. And I want to appreciate the entire AfYEF Kenya leadership for the amazing work that you guys have done. You've made us very proud, okay? And then I also want to appreciate all the participants that have joined this call. So my name is Fredrick Nonde Jr. I'm the AfYEF Vice President for Administration. So AfYEF is HQ'd in Ghana, Accra, Ghana, but we have a presence in 33 African countries and 6 in the diaspora. So right now I'm connecting from Lusaka, Zambia, okay? And it's nice to connect with all of you from across the continent. So today we want to say that this will not just be a webinar as it were, and then it ends here, you know. We love building structured and scalable ecosystem. I think our national coordinator referred to that. So we are building structure so that we can be able to develop into an ecosystem, in particular for the youth and the women entrepreneurs across the AfCFTA, so that they can be able to leverage the opportunities that the AfCFTA presents. So, and if we're gonna accomplish that across the continent, yeah, this is an initiative, for example, the AfCFTA, the African Continental Free Trade Area. It's an initiative that started in January 2021, so the implementation started. So 54 out of the 55 African countries are part of this agreement, okay? Only one African country is yet to be part of the agreement. And then we are talking a combined population of 1.4 billion people. And then we are talking combined GDP of over $3.4 trillion, right? Now, the World Bank statistics show that out of the 1.4 billion Africans, we have over 465 million youths that are looking for empowerment opportunities right now as we speak. And yet our combined job market can only take about 10 to 12 million per annum, okay? So now you see why it's very critical that we have this conversation around AfYEF and what we do. Because as the name suggests, AfCFTA, Young Entrepreneurs Federation. Our focus is more on entrepreneurship. Okay, so we build capacity for people to enterprise. When they enterprise, they create their own business, they create their own employment, and then they can also be able to create employment for others. And so my work as Vice President for Administration is very simple. I support structure. I support chapters like Kenya. So we're working very closely. Zimbabwe, we're working together. Ivory Coast, we are currently working together. UK, we're working together. Burkina Faso, we're working together. And Ghana, of course, we're working together. And many other chapters across the continent. Why we emphasize on structure is because without proper governance and systems in place, okay, even if we have the best intentions or the best ideas, this is gonna go nowhere. We've seen it before in Africa, why our institutions, they don't last, because they lack structure and systems, okay? So we wanna make sure that we learn from that and then we do things better, so that we can be able to make meaningful impact on the continent. So I want to commend the Kenya chapter for the progress that you guys are making and also for bringing us together on this webinar. We're looking forward to visiting Zimbabwe. We want to come to your webinar. Ghana, we want to come, Zambia, and other chapters, okay? Let's engage together. Now, what this simply means is that, you see, already the AfYEF Kenya chapter is positioning itself, right? Yes, as a strategic hub that is within the Eastern African Economic Bloc, if you like, that is under the AfCFTA. And like I mentioned, the focus is to mobilize the youth and women entrepreneurs, to build capacity to innovate, to develop enterprises, as well as engage in cross-border trade. So now, I'm proud to say that I've personally met each of these individuals on the AfYEF Kenya National Executive. So I'm so delighted because I've met them in person. These are amazing people, wonderful people. And even if right now we are geographically separated, but technology is bringing us together, and then we're engaging in this manner. So I want to commend you, colleagues. This started as a conversation around a tech summit, yeah? But now it's translating into something meaningful. So the question you asked, in the next 3 months, how does success look like? Okay, yeah. We want to come in and work with you. We do the needs assessment. Let's assess what's on the ground. But what I can mention for my end, what we have in the pipeline already, okay? And I always want you to remember that AfYEF, AfCFTA, Young Entrepreneurs Federation, has got a strategic partnership with MIBT Global. That's the organization that I come with into AfYEF, okay? Because AfYEF is a federation of entrepreneurs. So different businesses, enterprises, startups, and everybody. We come into AfYEF, okay? So we form a league of entrepreneurs there. So what we bring together, AfYEF and MIBT, is that already we've extended 50 scholarships, okay? 100% scholarships worth $750 each scholarship for AfYEF Kenya members to benefit from nano degree in blockchain studies. because like I mentioned, this conversation started from a tech summit. We are talking Web3 and emerging technologies. So right now we are offering those scholarships. 50 scholarships for Kenya. Yeah, we can do 50 for Zimbabwe, Ghana, and any other chapter, right? And then besides that, we wanna support 100 youth and women entrepreneurs, okay? We're gonna mentor them. We're gonna build capacity so that they can be able to build their business. So those are the KPIs we are setting for ourselves, okay? 3 months from now, let's come back and review those figures. These are just for starters, but like I said, we'll need to do a needs assessment from what is obtaining on the ground right there in Kenya, right? Yeah. So in case we have any entrepreneurs on this call, whether you're young, you're female, okay? AfCFTA represents a huge market for you. Okay, so you want to be a part of this, okay? Now, for you to be able to leverage the opportunities, you're going to need skills. And that's, I've already mentioned about what we can do together. For example, in Web3 and blockchain studies, you're going to need network. So this is your new network now. Okay, stick to this new network, and then together we're going to accomplish great things together. You need information about AfCFTA. We provide relevant information on our platforms. General membership on our platforms is free. Join any of our platforms, and then you can benefit from the information that we provide. And then, of course, we need to embark on structured support, as it were. That's why we are doing it through chapters. Okay. And it's the reason AfYEF is here, is to provide that bridge, okay, between you, our entrepreneurs, innovators, developers, with the AfCFTA ecosystem, right? Yeah. So I'm sure you're aware that Africa is positioning itself. We are under a new era. We sat on the sidelines during the Web2 bubble. The internet was evolving. We sat on the sidelines. Web3, we've declared our commitment. We want to be part of the revolution, right? Yeah, and life has moved. We're getting more into the digital space. The pandemic also pushed us into this direction. So now we are talking digital platforms across Africa. We are talking Web3, we are talking blockchain, and then we are talking startup ecosystem. So we're going to be deliberate. Let's work together so that we can be able to, make meaningful impact together. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that I contribute to this conversation. Yeah, I should have said this at the beginning. Yeah. Now, my encouragement from this point going forward. Stay engaged, actively participate. You want to take up leadership. And then when we do that, we're going to build solutions together that are going to scale beyond borders. And in my conclusion, allow me to mention that AfYEF is not about just having conversations. Like I mentioned, AfYEF works strategically and very closely with MIBT Global. You know, there's a tech summit coming up in the next couple of weeks or so. We build systems for execution. Okay? And I'm happy to say that Kenya is now part of that continental engine. So kudos to you guys. Yeah. So it's a pleasure to be here. And thank you very much.
Also, I'm very privileged to hear such a feedback, and my apologies for not introducing you, for not letting you to speak first. But let's hear from Mr. Joseph Ngoma. We cut him short because he was having, I think, internet errors. Can you go forward, Mr. Joseph Ngoma? So, can everyone hear?
Can you hear me?
Okay, sure, yeah. I can hear you.
So as I said before, my name is Joseph Ngoma, and I'm a finance director of Voices of Kibera. It's an initiative that me and my friend back in university decided to create. So we are in social entrepreneurship. So we help we fight poverty by helping people in Kibera through various initiatives. So my question was, do you support social entrepreneurs?
Would you like me to take that question?
So my question in simple term, does your organization support social entrepreneurs?
Yes, we do. We do.
Okay.
So we do. So we are the most dynamic community of entrepreneurs on the African continent, and I think the US aid through its agencies, they've also recognized that. So we embrace all kinds of entrepreneurs, social and conventional entrepreneurs. If you're a startup founder, MSMEs, you name it. Okay, yeah. So in a nutshell, we do support that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your answer. If I may proceed just a little bit, like how do you help? Through funds, through trainings? How do you do?
Okay, thank you very much for that. AfCFTA is an initiative of the African governments, right? But government is not in the business of for example, actively engaging in economic activities. They create policy, they create an environment. They leave that to us in the private sector now to be able to enterprise, to be able to innovate, right? And then, because the economy is made up of the public sector, that is one arm, then the private sector, that is the second arm, and the civil society, that is the third arm. So every economy is made up of these three sectors, yeah? But of course, the media also comes into play, because it's very critical that we have the media in place for us to be able to create awareness, publicize what is happening, the opportunities and everything, okay? Yeah. So now, after mobilizing, I want to tell you that the AfCFTA is meant to benefit the Africans. It's an initiative of the African governments And why it was prompted is because it was realized that 80% of the trade volumes was with the outside world. We were not trading with one another. Okay, we are trading with the outside world more than we were trading with each other. 18%, I think 15 to 18% of trade volume is what we are doing among ourselves. So what we are doing by exporting our raw materials and then import the finished goods is that we're exporting our jobs. We're exporting industry, we're exporting our GDP, we are exporting our economic value and everything. So the AfCFTA is about changing that narrative. Okay, can we be more involved as Africans into developing our own economy? Okay, so now this is the capacity that we build. After mobilizing the members, we build capacity so that even those without business idea, zero business idea, they come to AfYEF. We're going to build capacity for them. Even those who have been in business, even for a number of years, entrepreneur from the scratch, from zero as it were, yeah, because they've identified a pain point or a problem in the local community, that problem. So they're able to get started from the scratch instead of inheriting or maybe just taking advantage of, you know, what is already being produced, just buy here, resell there. So entrepreneurship takes a very different mindset. So we build capacity in that sense. After building capacity, we move to facilitating access to affordable funding. And when I say affordable funding is that we do not encourage these small businesses, startups, to go for commercial debt, for example, because it's not healthy. It's not tailored to support or sustain small businesses. And I'm sure you're aware that globally the statistics is that over 90% of startups or SMEs, they fail in their first 1 to 3 years. Okay, this is due to a number of issues, like some of them that I've alluded to. So what could be affordable funding? Okay, we are encouraging equity funding in Africa. That's a narrative we should be talking. Okay, can we exchange equity shares with capital investment and stuff like that? Okay, can we exchange expertise, professional expertise with equity? Okay, so that we can build startups and SMEs that are more resilient. And then there are, of course, grants. There are other forms of funding that are not as costly and harmful to small businesses as commercial debt, right? So we try to, inculcate those kinds of principles and the kind of thinking. And then when we move from there, you have capacity to do your business, and then you have access to funding. By the way, as an entrepreneur, you don't need to have money for you to get started, right? So we talk about that, how you can attract investment or capital, as it were, affordable, like I mentioned. Then without market, it will be, even if your business idea is brilliant, you've got funding, then you don't have access to market. But now the good thing is you have access to a market size of 1.4 billion Africans. So even if you are to target 0.0001% of that size of a market, okay, so if you're able to do your maths, I'm sure it will translate into something reasonable. Even if your product or service was costing $1 a month, and then you capture 0.0001% of the 1.4 billion, I think your venture will be viable and scalable at the same time. And then after that, you are No. Talking about the process, right? So that's the kind of impact that we're talking about. Now, as an entrepreneur, because it's a very, very long journey, it takes a very different mind system. You need the network. You need, a community of like-minded people. And that's what AfYEF provides, okay? And then there are many, many opportunities that you come across because of being part of AfYEF. You can have partners in another country. You can benefit from, programs that are taking place across the country. For example, we have partnerships with the FDB. You want to know that? The African Development Bank. Right now, they are setting up youth entrepreneurship banks in different African countries. The idea is to scale across the continent. We have relationship with the African Union. We work with the Afrexim Bank. We work with the AfCFTA Secretariat. We work with USAID. So many cooperating partners. So now we create that kind of environment, and then we do advocacy. Okay, we do lobbying on behalf of our members and the African entrepreneurs. Okay, so for example, when the AfCFTA started, it had no protocols for the youth and the women. So through our engagement, okay, you'll be happy to know that now those protocols on youth and women are part of the legal framework of the AfCFTA. So these were adopted in 2024. So those are just some of the things that we do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fredrick, for the feedback. And we are into time, and anyone that is having anything to contribute on that, I'm very sorry that we are minimizing the time, because our webinar was to end in some 20 minutes ago. So I'm very sorry for that. But I would like to thank everyone that took the initiative and presented herself here, and has been very meaningful to the conversation, interacting with great minds from Africa and around Africa is an amazing privilege for every one of us. So thank you everyone. I think we can call it an end. And what I want to say as the last thing is that sometimes we don't. Sometimes we optimize what is like the ideas. The road to hell is a pair of ideas to be optimized. So there's something that I've been trying to integrate in my mind and to understand on it. Is a direct analogy of what Africans are saying, because we are having ideas, but implementing them is a hard thing. So you, as an innovator and entrepreneur, you should check those unsexy things, and boring things, and like things that many people don't love, and do it in a execute them so that you can become the best, and so that you can become the person that no one can be can be in a position to do that. So entrepreneurship is a hard journey, and there is not anything that you'll be very happy about unless you work towards success. So what I'm gonna leave you with is that we are all entrepreneurs, and I'm expecting every one of you to put everything in order and also to execute what we are implementing. On my part, I'm done. Thank you, everyone, and may God bless you. I will usher in Madam Zena and Njeri for a completion remark.
Thank you very much, Fredrick. Thank you, everyone. Oh, sorry. Thank you very much, Neville. Thank you, everyone else, for being part of this historic moment. I'd like to sincerely appreciate our Vice President, Fredrick Node Jr., the National Executive Committee members, panelists, and all participants who joined us today, other national coordinators among them. Your presence affirms that this vision is shared, and that is how impact begins. It is with great honor that I now officially declare the AfYEF Kenya Chapter activated. This marks the beginning of action, collaboration, and growth. We invite you all to join us as we build an inclusive and impactful ecosystem for youth and women across Kenya and the continent. Before we close, we will take a quick group screenshot. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm done taking the screenshot. Thank you and have a wonderful evening. We concluded our call.
Okay, thank you. And everyone can leave on here.
Yes. Extension looking this kind of arrangement. So thank you so much.